Hey everybody, it's Jason with the Board Game Mechanics, and today we're going to take a look at a game called Disney Animated. Disney Animated is a game published by Funko Games, designed by Prospero Hall, hashtag who is Prospero Hall. Plays 2 to 4 players, ages 10 plus, in about, does it have a time? I thought I had a time, but it's like no more than 60 minutes. If you're playing a 4-player game, it could be 60 minutes. But what you're doing in this game is you are an animator in Disney Studios, and you're trying to, let's see, is there even theme in this book? Sorta. Working together like the famous team at Walt Disney Animation Studios to make classic films before the deadline, but infamous villains of the stories don't want you to finish because they know how the stories end. The calamity they cause will slow down the production and move you closer to the looming deadline. So you're trying to complete your movies. All the players are trying to complete their movies, draw their animation cells, capture their villain before the deadline runs out. If you can do that, you win. If you can't, everybody loses. This is a cooperative game. Probably a family-friendly cooperative game. I have played this with my daughter, and she's 8, and she grasped it. It says 10 plus, so should be no issue. But yeah, that's the overview of the game. Normally, this is where we show you a gameplay video, but that's in a separate video. You can click in the video description, check out the link if you want to go take a look at that. But otherwise, let's move on over and talk about the components. All right, so the components here are kind of a mixed bag. Let me show you what I mean. These animation cells are flipping fantastic. I love these. This is the best part of the game. These animation cells. Clear cards with the characters from the movie. I love that. Pongo and Perdita are fantastic. Anita, great. I can't reach the other ones. So let me show you some of the Alice ones. And I'll just show you also Cheshire Cat from Alice. This is a wooden token, which is awesome. These canine crunchies are really cool. Cool little bone tokens. Every character has a different wooden bit. You saw the genie. Snow White has 7 dwarves that you're trying to get out. Fantastic components. But the animation cells, I can't say enough about this. This is freaking cool. The deadline token is a cool little movie canister. I don't know what those are called, but like a film canister. Action tiles are super thick, have like an old school look to them. I dig it. Disney movie magic. I love that. They're really nice. The paint tokens are simple cardboard tokens. Again, they look really simple on the back, but it's easy to tell what that is on the front. Love that. The villain tiles are real nice. They have a completed side, so like once you painted it, you put this on the board. But when it's up there fighting you, you use this side. Love that. The calamity cards have great Disney art based on the movie that you're making. So these are 101 Dalmatians, Aladdin, of course. I have a lot of all the 101 Dalmatians one came out in the playthrough. So there's that. Love that. The animation cards are simple. They're just basically an icon with some words. But all you care about is the flag there, whatever the icon is. But they have thematic ties to the icons. Now, let's talk about the component that I don't love. And that's the board. So, I like the board and I don't like the board. The board is dual layer. I'm going to try to not have stuff fall out. So, it's dual layer. You can see that. You saw that in the video if you watched that. But what I don't like is all these pieces came in the board punched and I had to unpunch them. But when you're trying to get them back in, you can't get them flat. So you can see that like it's not in there. I can't get it in there without worrying about damaging the tiles, and that's obnoxious. So all this cool board I can't use, so I gotta have this bump here that I'm laying my pieces on, which doesn't really look great, but I mean it works. All I needed to care about is that my background is down and my character's on there, but it would be nice if they fit in there. And then because it was so tight, the Aladdin board, let me show you. So that was actually standing. So I was punching these out because they came in, punched like this. I was pulling this out and I ripped the background off, messed up the back tile because it had too much glue. So before I even played this, it was messed up. So I like the board. It's nice. It's a good idea, but it's a little tight. It would be nice if it had a little more room to put stuff in there so you could actually, I don't know, put it back in there and it doesn't fall out. That would be nice. But you know, that's a usability issue, and I have trouble with that when your game has a super nice component, and it doesn't work properly. I don't really love that. But one thing I didn't show you is all the character decks or character pieces come in their own box. So Fantasia, everything you need to play Fantasia is in here, except for the boards. Everything you need to play Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs is in there. There's one for all 5 of the movies. There's one for the studio cards, which has the animation and the action tiles. That's really cool. So the components, for the most part, are top-notch. The boards really let me down, and that's going to maybe hurt the score later. We'll see how I feel when we get there, but I don't love it. So, yeah. So those are the components. Let's move on. Talk about what we think about the game. All right, so this is a really simple, I wouldn't say simple, but it's a family weight cooperative game. Prospero has a ton of these. Horrified, Back to the Future, a lot of IP, Villainous. That's a competitive game actually, but it's still IP. So many of these games that are based around an IP that are cooperative have family-friendly IPs that you can just play and get immersed into the theme. And this one is no exception. This immerses you in the theme. I feel like I'm an animator rushing. I have 13 days, 13 weeks, whatever I want to make this deadline to get my movie done. You're only doing one action per turn. So you're trying to make the best of everything that you can. You're trying to get stuff. You're trying to fire off bonuses. You're trying to use animation cards. You want the calamities to go away because you don't want those to be firing because that hinders all the work that you did. All this stuff you can do on your turn, but yet still really simple. There's only 4 actions because the magic is a wild. So 4 actions you can take. You have to learn your own sound action, which is based on one of the songs from the movies. But even then, they're pretty similar, and they're really self-explanatory when you're reading it. They give you a really good overview on the other side of the board of what they all do. I haven't ever played anything on hard. The first time I played with my daughter, who's 9, we played a 2-player game with 1 card, which is easy, 1 calamity card, and we beat that pretty quickly. We played it with 2, and we only won with 1 round left. So it did amp up a little bit, just adding that extra card in there. I know it seemed like I was beating it kind of easily, but the more time you spend fighting calamity cards, the less time you're doing things to actually focus on your movie, and it causes you to run out of time. So it looks fine early on, but once you get up higher, it starts to get a little out of control. So I like everything about this game. It's super fun. I don't know how much replayability is in it. There's only 5 characters, and they're all kind of the same. So maybe having some more characters, having an expansion, having something else in this might give it a little more legs. But I like it. It's fun. I'll gladly play it. It's not my favorite cooperative game in the world because I don't really love cooperative games, but I like the theme. These fantastic animation cells really do kind of push it over the top a little bit. It feels super thematic. It feels like I'm in a rush to get these movies done, to get them out to the theater by the deadline. And I dig it. I like it. It's just a fun game. Not every game has to be super deep, super punishing. Sometimes you can just have fun playing a game, and I think that's where this one is. It's a good theme, a good IP, and it's just fun. The actions are fun, they're fulfilling, and when you're done, you have a cool board and it has a background and some animation cells, and that's cool. So I would give this an 8, but because of the production issue with the board, it really bothers me. And that I didn't get to play it before it messed up. I'm going to knock it a whole point. So I'm going to give this a BGM Accept the Seal. This is going to get a 7 out of 10 on BGG, which is a 3.5 out of 5 wrenches on an arbitrary wrench scale. That means absolutely nothing. But we like to give it the games that we enjoy, and that's what we're going to do. So that is Disney Animated from Funko Games. I'm Jason with the Board Game Mechanics, and as always, keep gaming.